Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lode-Holt. It's a pleasant tune, and quickly became a favorite when it was included in our hymnal. I'm talking about the hymn, Christ Be Our Light, and as hymns go, it's a fairly new hymn copyrighted in 1993. Sometimes, however, I think we get so caught up enjoying the tune that we fail to notice the impact of the words. The opening stanza speaks of our world and our hopes that things will be better. Significantly, however, the idea is that we more become God's people as the means for a better world. Longing for light, we wait in darkness. Longing for truth, we turn to you. Make us your people, your holy people, light for the world to see. The next few stanzas push this idea further, highlighting way after way our world is broken and calling us as God's people to reach out in love for others. Longing for peace, our world is troubled. Longing for hope, many despair. Your word alone has power to save us. Make us your living voice. Longing for food, many are hungry. Longing for water, many still thirst. Make us your bread, broken for others, shared until all are fed. Longing for shelter, many are homeless. Longing for warmth, many are cold. Make us your building, sheltering others, walls made of living stone. Many the gifts, many the people, many the hearts that yearn to belong. Let us be servants to one another, signs of your kingdom come. Echoing through the whole hymn is the refrain, Christ, be our light. Shine in our hearts, shine through the darkness. Christ, be our light. Shine in your church gathered today. We are called to let the light of Christ's love shine on us and then shine through us for others. This week we are looking at what I have called the little the little letter of love, as we explore some passages in the small New Testament book of 1 John. We are especially paying attention to chapter 4, where, as I have described it, a cascade of verses seem to fall over each other, talking about God's love and our love for one another. Today, the emphasis is on how God's love leads us to love one another. In verse 11 it says, Beloved, since God loved us so much, we also ought to love one another. In other words, God's love evokes a response in us of love and service to each other. Imagine a world where that was our goal, where loving and doing good for others instead of for ourselves was the primary goal. That's what God calls us to. More, God has shown us that very kind of love in sending Jesus to die for us. So we should know how to love, how to live as God's people. Then 1 John says it more bluntly. Those who say, I love God, and hate their brothers or sisters are liars. For those who do not love a brother or sister whom they have seen cannot love God whom they have not seen. That hits kind of hard, doesn't it? While we may not think of ourselves as hating anyone, we are at the least apathetic far too often. And I need to tell you, to those in need, to the homeless, to the refugee, to the hungry, there's not much difference between apathy and hate. We are despising them in favor of ourselves. And 1 John tells us that if we do that, then it means that we don't really love God either. Far too often, we are, at best, apathetic toward God. Now, I like potato chips. Nevertheless, I keep thinking about the speaker I heard once who asked the question of whether or not a Christian can participate in the production and consumption of potato chips. To make potato chips, we take a nutritious food source, slice it up, fry all the nutrition out of it, and serve it up while many in the world starve. Do you see how our apathy toward those without food plays a part there? If we do not love our brothers and sisters, especially those in need, we do not love God. 1 John hits hard here. Maybe our prayer today should be the prayer from that hymn I started with. Christ, be our light. Shine in our hearts. Shine through the darkness. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.